It is Saturday, June 28th, and President Trump setting a major record this week, stopping not one, but two wars, brokering peace between Iran and Israel, and now between the DRC and Rwanda. We'll show you, and wait till you see how the people of the Congo think about our president. It's wild. The fact that the media is not talking about it is crazy. Also, Trump dropping another bomb, this time a truth bomb on the head of the Ayatollah of Iran. Wait till you see this. And the fallout from yesterday's massive SCOTUS ruling continuing, roiling DC. Dems losing their minds over this one, and more stories as well from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing if you appreciate these regular updates.
This is a tremendous breakthrough. In a few short months, we've now achieved peace between India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, and the DRC and Rwanda, and a couple of others also. Serbia, they were getting ready to go to war with a group I won't even mention because it didn't happen. We were able to stop it, but I have a friend in Serbia, and they said we're going to go to war again. And I won't mention that it's Kosovo, but it's Kosovo. But they were going to have a big time war, and we stopped it. We stopped it because of trade. They want to trade with the United States. I said we don't trade with people that go to war.
So almost 30 years ago, back in 1996, the first Congo War began. Since then, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has been in almost constant war with Rwanda, stopping and starting, morphing into these series of localized but interconnected wars in eastern DRC. In total, the United Nations, get this, estimates this war has caused over 6 million deaths, has caused disease, starvation, and displacement. Millions, beyond millions of people fleeing their homelands over there, leading to waves of mass migration around the world. This has been ongoing for almost 30 years. That means 6 U.S. presidents have come and gone since that war started and did nothing. Then came Donald Trump, who said enough. Yesterday, brokering peace, a peace deal, ending this 30-year war, bringing the foreign ministers of both countries, both the DRC and Rwanda, together into the Oval Office for the first time, along with the Secretary of State Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, and officially ending the war, ending the fighting and dying. It's a huge deal, a huge win for a peaceful world. So why then did mainstream media completely ignore it? I don't know, maybe because they refused to give Trump any accolades at all, or maybe because they were the ones telling us for years that Trump would start World War III, was the next Hitler, or I don't know, maybe because in the signing ceremony yesterday, both foreign ministers saying they reached out to the last administration, begging Joe Biden for help, but were ignored. Well, American press may not be covering this, but you know who is? The DRC press corps, absolutely loving him. Apparently, the Democratic Republic of Congo right now is building statues to honor our president for the way he was able to end this war, saying everybody in the Congo right now knows President Trump's name, are saying his name, and are more grateful than you'd know. Watch.
Let me tell you firsthand what I've witnessed myself. I spoke with the people on the street. I spoke with youth. They know your name. They know that our president named President Trump is working hard to finally bring peace to the country. I saw hope. They have hope now for a better day in Congo. They see what you're doing as a future, better future for Congo. And I had an opportunity to sit down with President Felix Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind, what he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I covered President Biden's administration. I pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo. This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country. They never gave me any answer.
So in a matter of a week, Trump stopped not one, but two wars, ending the Iran war and now this 30-year-long Congo-Rwanda war, plus last month stopping a major war between India and Pakistan and a new war that was about to break out between Serbia and Kosovo. Can someone say Nobel Peace Prize?
And President Tshisekedi also mentioned at the end of my interview that when peace finally comes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he's thinking to nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only at the Congo, and he's very hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice. Boy,
What's hilarious is Barack Obama was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, not for ending a war, but get this, for promoting international diplomacy and inspiration and hope. Yes, that really happened. The prize including a medal for Obama and a cash reward of $1.4 million. Meanwhile, the ceasefire Trump brokered between Israel and Iran is holding. Iran's supreme leader, though, finally coming out of hiding Thursday after being thoroughly embarrassed on the world stage, thinking, for whatever reason, it was a good idea to come out and claim victory. You can't make this up. Let's watch some of what this guy had to say.
چند تبریک به ملت عرض میکنم. یکی تبریک پیروزی بر رژیم جعلی صهیونی است. با اون همه هیاهو، با اون همه ادعا، رژیم صهیونی در زیر ضربات جمهوری اسلامی تقریباً از پا در آمد و له شد. تبریک دوم مربوط به پیروزی ایران عزیزمون بر رژیم آمریکاست. رژیم آمریکا وارد جنگ مستقیم شد چون احساس کرد که اگر وارد نشود رژیم صهیونیستی به کلی نابود خواهد شد.
What is this guy smoking? Everyone knows you're lying, dude. This is the reason things never get better in the Middle East, because of people like that. President Trump not having it, bitch slapping him on the world stage yesterday, writing on X in response to the statement that we just watched, Trump writing this: why would the so-called supreme leader of the war-torn country of Iran say so blatantly and foolishly that he won the war with Israel when he knows his statement is a lie? It is not so. As a man of great faith, he is not supposed to lie. His country was decimated, his 3 evil nuclear sites obliterated, and I knew exactly where he was sheltered and would not let Israel or the U.S. Armed Forces, by far the greatest and most powerful in the world, terminate his life. I saved him from a very ugly and ignominious death, and he doesn't have to say, "Thank you, President Trump." In fact, in the final act of the war, I demanded that Israel bring back a very large group of planes, which were heading directly to Tehran, looking for a big day, perhaps the final knockout. Tremendous damage would have ensued, and many Iranians would have been killed. It was going to be the biggest attack of the war by far. During the last few days, I was working on the possible removal of sanctions and other things, which would have been given a much better chance to Iran in a full, fast, and complete recovery. The sanctions are biting, but no, instead, I get hit with a statement of anger, hatred, and disgust, and immediately dropped all work on sanction relief and more. Iran has to get back into the world order flow, or things will only get worse for them. They are always so angry, hostile, and unhappy, and look at what it's gotten them: a burned out, blown up country with no future, a decimated military, a horrible economy, and a death all around them. They have no hope, and it will only get worse. I wish the leadership of Iran would realize you often get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Peace. This is so what the world needs. Donald Trump just unleashed, just blatantly telling the truth, scolding people who are standing in the way of peace and progress. Let me know in the comments, do you think us as Americans deserve this guy, folks? Deserve President Trump? Think about how embarrassing this is for the Ayatollah. He knows all of his top regime officials, the ones who are left, are reading these responses from Donald Trump. And we know, by the way, we know for a fact they are, because Iran's foreign minister this morning is saying stopping the insults is a precondition for resuming nuclear talks. That's the good thing about social media and global communication today. These tin pot dictators can't shield their public from the truth as easily as they used to. In another story, the ripple effects of the Supreme Court's ruling yesterday continuing to roil Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court ruling in favor of the Trump administration and stripping the power of these federal judges to invoke nationwide injunctions. Dems and the media losing their minds over this. Deranged MSNBC contributor Eli Mistal going completely off the deep end this morning. Watch this.
Walk me through why you see this ruling as deeply dangerous, not for people who are birthright citizens, but much more broadly for every American.
Imagine Donald Trump wants to do something illegal to you, Ali Velshi. Imagine that he wants to murder you. Imagine that he and Stephen Miller release an entire policy explaining about how they can murder Canadian journalists who are working in America because they're taking the jobs from real American journalists, right? So he's going to murder you. So you, Ali Velshi, you go to court. You go to court in the Southern District of New York and you say, like, I don't think this murder thing is constitutional. It's clearly illegal. It's clearly constitutional. Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller shouldn't be able to have a plan to murder me. And the court says, you're right, Ali Velshi. There's no way Donald Trump is allowed to murder you. We're going to have an injunction. We're going to stay the executive order saying that he's going to murder Canadian journalists. And so you're like, great, awesome. And you go home. And then Pat Kiernan shows up and he's like, what about me? I'm also a Canadian. Mm-hmm. Ashley Banfield shows up. I'm also a Canadian. What about me? And the court's, well, I can't help you because Ali Velshi is the one who sued. So Pat Kiernan, if you don't want to be murdered, you have to launch your entire own lawsuit in the Southern District of New York again to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't murder you. And while the Supreme Court is deciding who the Ali Velshi can't be murdered injunction applies to, guess what? Donald Trump starts murdering people. That is the upshot of yesterday's decision. Donald Trump has declared that he is going to do an unconstitutional thing. And various people have been able to secure the court's order that he cannot do the unconstitutional thing to them. And basically what the Supreme Court has said is that, well, you said something about Jimmy, but you didn't say anything about Consuela, so we're going to deport Consuela while the Supreme Court figures it out. That is what the court said. And
I appreciate it. And Pat and Ashley are going to appreciate the shout-outs on the show as well. But that makes it very clear that this is...
Now, this is a double-edged sword in a way, because the next time a Dem is in the White House, they too will be able to govern via executive orders, and the only check will be the Supreme Court, which is technically how it's supposed to work. So it's probably not far-fetched, though, to see the next Dem president writing an executive order to ban, let's say, all assault weapons. And that order going into effect because a federal judge can't overrule it. We'll have to wait until a lawsuit's filed that makes its way all the way to the Supreme Court to check that illegal order. We'll probably see things like that happen in the future. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is this a good thing? That these rogue activist judges can no longer overrule the president nationally? Or could it backfire in the long run? I personally don't see a problem with it as long as the Supreme Court's made up of constitutional justices who interpret the Constitution correctly. If you have all Ketanji Brown Jacksons, then we got a problem. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.